Welcome to the Season 1 finale of Home Climbing Wall TV's tours. Now, don't get too concerned, it is the finale, but we have tons of bonus content that will continue releasing every Wednesday for the next few weeks. We also want to know what you guys are interested in seeing. Do you want Season 2 to be more tours? Do you want a route setting series so you can learn how to best set routes on your own home wall? Do you want a tutorial series on how to build a wall, or how to build volumes, or how to build climbing holds? What do you guys want to see? Because we'd love to offer it and give you a chance to get the most out of your home climbing wall. All right, this week we're headed to Colorado Springs, Colorado to check out a wall with some of the coolest volumes that I've ever seen. So let's get to it.
Hey everybody, I'm Kevin. Welcome to the Treehouse. So I guess we have to start with the oldest part of the wall. Originally, it was this wall, which is about a little over 20 degrees, the connecting wall, and then this wall, which is a little over 30 degrees, and it stopped down in this corner up to the top. Originally, obviously, there weren't quite as many holds on the wall. I got a bucket of holds from a local climbing gym, had a couple people donate a couple, luckily, and that was about it. So it was pretty exciting, but still had a lot of space on the wall that eventually was able to fill in. So after the first couple years, we added the first volumes. Was really lucky, actually had an opportunity to learn how to build these volumes from a guy named Brent Quisenberry, who was one of the guys that had the idea for the Dominion River Rock competition, where they suspend volumes on these cables. Really awesome competition. Hopefully get to see it again soon. So yeah, started to build out the volumes after that. These two are actually in the original location, but what is different is obviously it was a residential home, so you had a garage, the motor for the garage that hung here. So you had a volume over here that is now moved, and you could climb through the roof, but the fact is it wasn't very safe. So after about the third year, we were able to get a new garage door that is, it's essentially an industrial garage door. So it rolls up, it's not electric, it doesn't have anything, it doesn't have any of the niceties that you would usually want in a garage door, but the fact is it then let us build out the big hanging arete, which is about a little over 50 degrees and maybe my favorite feature of the wall. One of the really challenging things that I wish I would have thought about earlier on was how to work on the volumes that are in the ceiling. So we built an anchor system on the opposite side in the attic right here. So they're very secure, but ultimately, if you were to ever get a spinner, which unfortunately does happen occasionally, it makes it a whole heck of a lot harder to do anything about it when you can't work behind the wall. So because the volumes were fastened to the drywall, I don't know exactly what the fix would be, but I think I would have tried to figure out something where we could get behind them a lot easier, because it just makes it a big pain if you have to work behind the volume. So originally when I was teaching my partner to clip bolts, it was something that seemed to make a whole lot of sense to put as many up as you can, tie in, and just work on the mechanics, work on the muscle memory. And so nothing that is a hanger is something that you can fall on or do anything like that with. We could build out the back of the wall and put like a large plate or something like that, I would think, but ultimately didn't want to go that direction. So gives you the ability to spend a lot of time on the wall and really work through the endurance. Usually we have two-ish routes up. Okay, one that immediately comes to mind is all of these teal holds made by Atomic. Really enjoyable holds. They combine with these juggy slopers to ultimately take you all the way around the gym, and then usually trying to finish back in the roof. So try to get as many moves in as possible. Also end up doing a long route with these tangerine colored holds made by Kilter. Ian Powell's Sandstone is another one of the favorites. One of the things that's a little bit unique and really wanted to be able to fit in somewhere, but I wanted to try to fit it in a way that wasn't in the way. I wanted to fit it really nicely into kind of the space that we had. And so the way that I tried to build the crack system is I tried to do it within the joist that already existed, made it a little bit more challenging to do the work, but ultimately now it sits back into the framing of the house and it doesn't have to fit way out into the space where people are walking or where people are sitting and are gonna hit their head or something like that. So you've got 3 different sizes that ultimately you can get some decent work done in there. And it also serves really well as a place to link up your dog when you don't want them to run away.
Movement Training Co.'s goal is to help outdoor enthusiasts prepare their bodies to adventure forever. And they do this through online programs, virtual consults, and more. So head over to movementtraining.co to see what they can do for you. Vision climbing is merging old school wisdom with new school technology, so you can climb smarter with Vision. One of the great things about their holds is their small and low profile. And that doesn't mean they're all crimps, it just means each one has the specific features you could want without a bunch of excess plastic taking up room on your home wall. If you want to check out their holds, head over to visionclimbing.com and also stay tuned for a chance to win a free set of holds from them, because hey, who doesn't love free holds, right?
Flooring is one of the things that obviously is super important, but I really didn't want to spend a ton of money on it. It's super expensive. So what we ended up doing is trying to look for anybody that would be willing to give up their mattress, or if they're moving or something like that. So we collected as many mattresses over the years as possible. The top slide pads, I was really lucky. One of the gyms in town was redoing their surfaces. They were kind enough to identify that these things were going outside and anybody that wanted to pick them up for this type of purpose could. So it originally was one really large, bizarre, obtuse shape. What I did with it ultimately very simple, but by cutting it into 3 pieces, made it super simple to be able to cover the whole gym and make sure you can protect the creases and do it in a way that's super easy and you're not just lugging one enormous piece around. So you have a nice platform that you can walk all the way around the back of the wall. So as I mentioned, in the roof, it's really hard to work on anything. Back here, it's really easy. You have access to pretty much all of the T-nuts, crash pad storage, extra seating, kind of necessities here, but like I said, you can walk it all the way around. So one of the things I really wanted to do was allow for people to come into the Treehouse and climb here the same way you could really climb at any commercial gym. So you can come up to the board and kind of identify what climbs are what. You can at least be able to track things. You can make sure that you remember what you climbed the last time. So I have it separated, walls 1 through 5, and then ultimately just identify what type of holds they are. So as we talked about, you've got these old solve rails that starts on wall 1, and all you need to do to climb that climb is climb all the solve rails. They match in their pattern, they look very similar, again, so it makes it very logical, and you have the ability to climb here very similarly to if you're comfortable climbing in a regular commercial gym. So always trying to kind of create spaces that feel, I don't know, feel at home, feel like they should be. And so this is a climbing space, this is a place to listen to music. And so obviously you've got Tony Aniro after he cruised up and down Equinox in Joshua Tree in the early 80s, and then just kind of band posters, things like that. Hangboard above the door over here. I'm sure that many people would say that I am a hoarder because I don't like to throw things away, but I used to guide back in Ohio, and when I left, I got super old ATC, super old carabiner that says Climbing Fool on it. So makes a lot of sense, something that's just kind of always fun memories. So always try to be able to collect things that, again, fit in the space, make it feel good. When somebody brings over a brush because they recognize that, you know, you climb out here a lot, but you don't have a decent brush and they bring one over, again, so it's always collecting things that people might bring by, or just kind of commemorating all of the experiences to try to make the space feel like a climbing gym that somebody would want to climb in. So I think something that's really cool about, you know, people who really love holds or really like to get into whatever their activity is, the people that really like to get into it, and I think a lot of the time climbers do, is going into figuring out what the history is and trying to find things that maybe you've not seen before in a gym. And so, yeah, we've got some holds that are a little bit more common, a little bit newer, but we also have holds that, and I'm gonna be excited to see who knows. I'm sure there are a couple folks out there, but like, I don't have any idea where this hold came from. I have no idea who made it. But ultimately, when I'm able to find something that is kind of a piece of the sport's history, which really isn't that old, is a pretty fun thing to be able to pick up. So definitely some some newer holds, but you also have older things, and then some things like the Detroit Rock Climbing Company that has gone through a bunch of changes recently. So really excited that some of those things still exist from a bunch of years ago. All right, everybody, thanks again. Appreciate your time in the Treehouse, and hopefully we'll be able to climb with you sometime soon.
Thank you so much to Kevin for showing us around your home climbing wall. It was a blast climbing on that roof with all those volumes, and now I know what my next weekend project is going to involve. All right, it is giveaway time, and this week's winner is Tim Kramer. Congratulations, Tim. Shoot me a DM over on Instagram and we'll get you all your goodies from Vision Climbing and Chalk Cartel. All right, this week's giveaway is more climbing holds from season sponsor Vision Climbing. And this is from their artistic series. I love how creative they get with some of their pours. This one looks super cool, and it also really makes me want a creamsicle, but maybe that's just me. This week, we also have some incredible training goodies from Frictitious Climbing. If you're not familiar with them, they're right here based in Colorado, and these are their porta boards. So you can see both sides, they have a bunch of different options for hanging on, and you can use these in a lot of different ways. You can use it as a hangboard at home, but you can also pull it down, then take it to the crag, or if you're traveling, you always have something to train your fingers with. Not only that, but they're also giving away their brand new version of the Easy Board, and this isn't even released out on their website yet, so you guys are actually getting the first look at this. There's a bunch of different options, just like the porta board, but there's a bunch of different options on the various sides, and you can see the big keyholes here. Again, you can hang it over your doorway, hang it in your climbing gym to use as a hangboard, then pop it off when you're headed to the crag to warm up before working your hardest project. So these are also up for grabs, so make sure you do 3 things. 1, subscribe right here on YouTube. 2, comment right here on YouTube using hashtag HCWtv contest. And 3, follow us over on Instagram. Then tune in here on YouTube and over on Instagram next week when we announce the lucky winner of all this incredible gear from Vision Climbing and Frictitious Climbing. Thank you guys so much for being a part of the Home Climbing Wall TV community. It's been an absolute blast, and I look forward to bringing you more and more Home Climbing Wall content. Again, hit that subscribe button, follow us on Instagram, and scene.